Hey guys, it's Dennis from AMC, back with you for another commentary track, this time on the finals. Here we have a rematch between Chris on the left and Kelli on the right. Husband and wife doing battle again. Chris with another stellar setup at 4 cards. Not sure why Kelli would keep a 2-card setup. The rest of her hand must be amazing. I really can't think of any situation on earth why I wouldn't mulligan a 2-card setup. Really none at all. So, a mistake right out of the bat for Kelli.
I'll go
Expect Chris to choose Intrigue Claim here.
I'll name military.
That's a baffling decision. He's got 4 characters on the board. He's probably going to play more.
Yeah. I'll name Intrigue, actually. Sorry. That's fine.
There you go. So, Kelli graciously allows the take back, and Chris makes the right decision of choosing Intrigue Claim. Because why should he care about getting rid of one of his many bodies? Right off the bat, this is Chris's game to lose with a 4-2 setup. And I really wish I could have asked Kelli about this after the game. Unfortunately, I wasn't watching this live, so otherwise I would have thought to ask her. So you guys stick around after the game. There's a new segment of the Aftermath. I did about a 7-minute interview with these guys on camera afterwards. Got some good information.
Tywin and Tywin too. And you're done?
So Kelli does get Tywin out. Maybe that is why she kept her hand. If she had both Tywins.
Intrigue.
Still not a good decision in my opinion.
For how much?
3.
Guess I'll hold.
Chris not going to have any trouble getting his Lord of the Crossing power this turn.
You know what? Unopposed. I'm gonna lose it.
Okay, I'm gonna Shadow Black Lane.
Don't get my Cersei. Don't get my dad.
Very interesting that Chris has Shadow Black Lane out. It's not something I've seen run out of the Lanni Crossing deck, but seeing the amount of events it runs, it's not a bad inclusion. I really like Shadow Black Lane in 2.0. I think it's an amazing card. And it's only going to get better the more events that are released down the line.
You should dry mount it. Take it upstairs to the frame shop.
It's one of those cards that it's good now, but it is going to be great. So Chris is just saying, I really don't care. I know I'm in the lead here, and I'm going to try to cut your legs off immediately and end this game right now.
I'm going to give myself.
Otherwise, there's not much reason for him to do this.
I mean, you could win if you did that.
Other than to try to cut her head off right now and just demoralize her.
Is it worth to block?
Because he's not really gaining anything that he couldn't already do with the characters that he has on the board right now.
Do power at me, and then I can't do any challenges. I think I'm gonna do that because I want to save my dudes.
Okay, so you're gonna give him a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing that. So I get insight.
You get insight and you're now on Tywin.
I mean, it's not like he had to put to the sword to use because he only has 1 gold.
Unopposed and Lord of the Crossing.
So a little bit of a baffling decision to waste the card by Chris, but
Dom and Tickler.
I think he sees he's so far ahead that he's just being a little reckless.
See, if you hadn't blocked, it would have been really bad because he'd have been dead power and he would have been dead. So it's good that you did.
Is he dead?
It worked out. He is discarded. It's Tickler.
Both my hounds are in the trash.
That's
good. I would have rather also have killed him though.
Yeah.
So it turns out.
I want to point out that while that decision for Chris worked out,
All this time.
you never want to waste a card in this game like that. So sure, that didn't come back to bite him in this game, but that's not a habit that I generally like to promote. You should never play a card unless you have a legit reason to. And right there, he could have accomplished everything that he wanted without using it.
It's 10 gold. You have Tywin.
So maybe there's a crucial situation down the line where now he doesn't have access to that card.
I will go first because I want to beat you up.
All right, bring it on.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Unless Kelli can get a put to the sword or something off, I don't see a big comeback for her here. Chris's deck is just too strong and too fast. And he's going to be looking at some great economy with Noble Cause out.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Military
5,
for
6.
4,000.
Hold on, I get some marshal.
Kelli jumping the gun a little bit there.
Reduce by 1, 2, 3, and pay 4.
And there's Chris's
How
Tywin.
much gold do you have left? 0?
None. He's
Um,
out of the box, Tywin.
and I will camp 2. Go ahead.
Saving the 2 gold, so we have a good idea of what Chris is planning here. I'm trying to peek into his hand to
Everything's
see if
fine.
I can see it.
Yeah,
But
you called that one.
you gotta imagine. I mean, we see the treachery there.
I'm going to ask you to make a rules question, because I think I know the answer, but I don't want to wrong because it's in my favor. But I'm going to wait until she does something. Just want to let you know. Go ahead.
What?
Just do your stuff. I'll let you know when it matters.
This is the greatest head game ever. Actually.
I
Please just
Okay.
stand here. You can.
That's what I thought. Like, it's what Seth and I were talking about yesterday with this card and that guy. Yeah. Okay. I wait.
What?
So what they're asking
Don't worry
about here
about it.
is,
I'll let you know
Chris
when
wanted to
time
know if he can wait to see
Yeah,
who
cancel
Gregor
my answer.
pillages
I wanna cancel
before
something.
he decides to cancel his Gregor's ability with the treachery. And yes, you can do that because pillage happens first,
Well,
and
I
Gregor's
think,
ability is a response or a reaction to that pillage.
Yeah. I like these are the matte dragon shields. They're kind of expensive, it's like $10 for 100, but they're really nice.
I like the Ultra Pros.
They're much more.
So I suppose if Kelli gets lucky here with her own, if she can hit Tywin with her Gregor and get a put to the sword off, she could easily get back into this, but that's about the only way that I can see her getting back into it.
You don't have to stand here. I'll let you know if she actually.
Military with Syria.
And I can't tell if she has any gold left
I'm gonna
because those tokens blend into that Sheriff of Nottingham mat so well.
Now you're gonna do
I'm opposing
something.
this guy.
Okay.
Okay, so if she pillages, because his reaction says after pillage, I can treachery it after seeing the card she pillages.
Yes.
His reaction.
After you see
Because it's a reaction
says
after
after
you
you
pillage.
it's after you trigger pillage. You don't get to see, because once you see the card, that's already like execution.
It's me in the
After
background there misunderstanding the question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not canceling pillage. You're
I'm just canceling the reaction.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't cancel pillage.
Okay, so I'll defend for 2. You win. It's opposed, claim, pillage.
Not yet.
You want to burn the main fair?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Chris just jumping through all the steps way too fast there. Got to
Long.
give Kelli a chance to
It's
react.
renowned.
Well, if you want to bear in the maiden fair, you got to do it way before.
Doing this.
Alright, I'm canceling it.
Everybody playing fast and loose with the timing here.
Pillage.
And then I'm not canceling this pillage.
Well, Kelly's got to be happy to see the put to the sword gone at least.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Takes one weapon
All
away
right,
from
I'm
Chris.
gonna do a power challenge, if that's all right with you.
It's fine. I'll allow it.
You already went, right?
I have not done challenges yet. I was second player.
That ain't good.
You might want to mute this one.
I have to think maybe these players are just a little nervous playing on camera now because this is very, very sloppy challenges phase.
I have to ride in the train and the car home with her, so I should probably
I'm
not
gonna
be
give
too
the.
mean.
This game is playing out like they're playing at home on the kitchen table and not in the finals of a store championship.
I'm gonna give. Pycelle. Stealth? No, I'm gonna do a power, stealthing, Tywin.
Shrink 2 still?
I don't like this play right here.
Theoretically, maybe.
Power challenge right now compared to an intrigue challenge just doesn't make any sense. I've said it before. Power challenges are just relatively meaningless this early in the game when nobody's in danger of winning. Unless you can win it essentially for free without risking anything. I don't understand the point. But instead she kneels out her character and is leaving herself relatively defenseless now.
You done?
Already did intrigue.
I just don't understand that.
No, I'm done.
Another thing that I wanted to point out, I noticed that a lot of people when I post videos like to point out mistakes that are made in terms of game rules,
Stealthing.
Wait a minute,
and
video if I have
I generally don't point those out
possible.
unless they're very, very blatant. Because mistakes like that are going to happen. You're going to miss triggers. You're going to miss rule or game rules and stuff like that. Sometimes you're going to occasionally forget to claim an unopposed power.
I don't like that at all.
But pointing those out in the comments of the videos doesn't really help anybody, or in the commentary. I'm not like nobody's going to really learn everything because everybody knows that you're supposed to claim unopposed. So I don't really focus on those in my commentary because I don't think it's of any strategic value to point out, hey, they missed an unopposed, or hey, you know, they missed this, or they shouldn't have been able to do that. I prefer to really focus the mistakes that I like to talk about are more strategic mistakes. So, for example, Kelli making a power challenge there. That is a mistake that is a strategic mistake, in my opinion. You know, she was allowed to do it per the rules, but I don't think she should have per correct strategy. So that's the type of mistakes I like to focus on in my commentary, because I think they add value to people that are listening. You know, if I point out that she forgot to claim her renown power, that's not going to help you win a game down the line. That's not my goal with doing these commentaries. So you'll please forgive me if I mostly ignore mistakes like that or don't look to try to point those out, because I don't think it adds any value to this process.
Military for 6 or no, the wrong order. That's not well. Military for 6.
So this challenge phase steadily progressing on, nothing exciting happening.
Both. All right.
Oppose.
You win.
I do.
Power
To
for
the soul.
power. For
So this is an opportunity where I don't mind the power challenge right now, because Kelli is knelt out, Chris is going second. He's already going to win dominance. He's not losing anything by making the power challenge.
Okay. Nothing. Again.
So
way
he's getting an
better
unopposed,
approach.
a claim, and a renown, risking nothing. That is a situation where I think it's obviously strategically correct to make the power challenge. But when you're going first and you're not going to win the game with the power challenge, I don't understand why you don't just leave that character standing to defend. Unless you know for a fact you're going to win the power challenge unopposed. Like if Chris had no power icons standing, that's one thing. If she knows she can win
You
it.
want first or second?
But
I will go
for the most part,
second.
I just ignore power
I'm
challenges.
gonna say military.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't want you to kill my dude.
So
All right. Go ahead.
I think let's point out Kelli just dropped calm and chose power claim or a military claim. I think that is a mistake. Chris now looks like he has 7 or 8 power. I can't really tell how big the stacks are, but he is in danger of closing this turn. You know, if he drops a Gregor with renown, he's got Tywin with renown, he can certainly close with a few lucky plays, and she should have chosen power claim for her calm plot. Chris dropped calling the banners, got a ton of money. He's got Tywin and looks like a Rose Road. He's in great shape here. Kelli does have a big board now, but she is going first. Chris chose to make her go first, and I think that was the right decision, because now he is going to have all the information that he needs to make sure he's able to trigger maximum power out of the board state without leaving himself vulnerable. And if Kelli wants to gain ground here, she's going to have to leave herself vulnerable by committing too many characters to an attack. So Chris drops a Jaime, so that's going to be a renowned power. He drops Cersei, which is going to put pressure on Kelly's hand. He's got the renown from Tywin. If he can get a renowned Gregor out through one of the events, he could close on this turn.
Order of the tickler. I just want to like reach over and like.
Alright.
Especially if Kelli leaves her board open for unopposed power. She has to be very careful here.
Yep, guys.
In my opinion, she should be playing defensively, leaving her characters standing to block Chris from getting unopposed power in order to wildfire and even the board position next turn.
I'm gonna start with this.
Okay.
He goes off.
Chris is going to dig for his Gregor. Let's see if he gets it.
Your hand's just right.
But just think about this strategically from Kelly's perspective right now.
There he is.
So Chris finds Gregor. What was she trying to gain by making this military challenge? She looks like she does have gold left for a put to the sword, but if she gets that off, who is she really going to put it on that is going to affect the outcome of this game? You know, Tywin has a dupe. Nobody else has power on it. Maybe she could kill Jaime, but that's really not going to make it that much of a difference, all things considered.
I'll treachery that.
Treachery that!
That's not how that word works.
So now she wasted Marjorie
You might wanna
trying
save
to
that for this
boost
ability,
military strength
So,
for a challenge that was largely irrelevant.
Force reaction.
Chris, take your renown.
Renown.
Attaboy.
Pillage.
So do you see how one mistake from Kelli compounded into multiple mistakes? So she made a military challenge that was largely meaningless. She then tried to commit to that by using Marjorie that then got treacheried. So now she has 3 characters knelt, and all that she gained was giving Chris a power on Gregor. Multiple mistakes there by Kelli. And none of them needed to happen if she had just thought that through.
I think I lose.
I'm so sorry.
And she continues to further the issue by kneeling out more characters. This is a baffling move by Kelli. I think she's already given up here, in my opinion.
Power.
Unopposed.
Unopposed.
Chris really doesn't care here. He wants to leave all his characters standing to make sure he can get 3 unopposed and his crossing power. With a renown on Tywin and a renown on Jaime, I believe this game is over. I haven't done the math yet.
Going ham, stealthing.
Kelli continues to kneel out her board, oblivious of the game state right now.
I get 2 from Tyrion.
I don't think I've ever actually played a game against Kelli.
I have to really overcommit to defend against it.
I do think she knows what she's doing insofar as just commentating on her matches. She clearly knows the rules of the game. She's executing combos well early in the game and mid-game, but I think she's showing her inexperience here by kneeling out her board
So you'll choose
when Chris is in striking
the
distance.
order they result in. So yes, you can do it, and he'll die rather than be discarded.
So she gets a tears off on Gregor.
Dead.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna
Again, very confusing moves since he's going to be out of play at the end of the turn anyways.
My challenges.
So yes, he gets killed instead of discarded, but largely irrelevant.
Are you serious?
Military for 4.
Oh my god.
And here's where Chris is going to take advantage of Kelly's mistake. He gets the renown and the unopposed here. So that's 2 power off the military challenge. And now Kelli has nobody left for defense. So he's going to net 3 more power off of this power challenge. So that's 5 power total in the phase so far. 6 if you count Gregor's renown.
Unopposed, claim, renown. Intrigue.
And now he's going to get an unopposed and a crossing power off of this, and 2 cards out of Kelly's hand.
I just would have used Tywin and stealth him.
No, I would have.
Good.
I would have treachery'd his stealth.
And that's essentially going to be enough. You know, Gregor's going to be discarded, so that power is going to be out before Dom.
Man, at the island, the guy was like, handshake.
Yeah.
I was like, sure. And he was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, what? You can't do that.
So, pretty easy finals. Please stick around and watch the episode of The Aftermath. And I hope you guys enjoy it. See you next time, guys.
Okay. Are you guys married?
Yeah.
You live together?
What?
I don't know. It's 2016.
Sometimes it works the other way, but I don't have that many married people who don't live together. So.
Yeah, he lives in Sunspirit. I live in Normos.
Gotcha.
It's complicated.
That was so
Our kid
nerdy.
got eaten by a dragon, you know.
Alright guys, and welcome to The Aftermath. I'm here with Chris and Kelli. We just played in the finals of the Labyrinth DC Store Championship. So congratulations on your win. Condolences on your second place. So Chris, you played the Lannister Lord of the Crossing deck today. I'm curious, what made you decide to play that deck?
So, I was playing a lot of Lannister Wolf up through the first couple store championships, and I liked the deck a lot, but I was having some problems with it. And
With Lannister Wolf?
With Lannister Wolf, and I really wanted to try First Snow of Winter.
What types of problems were you having with the Lannister Wolf?
I just couldn't like gain enough board advantage with it like consistently, and I was just it felt like I wasn't focused enough in the deck, so I wanted to try something bottom right. And Rick, who's off camera right there, was talking to me about Lannister Lords of the Crossing. So together we came up with a list. We tweaked it a bunch. We used some of the other winning Lannister Lords of the Crossing lists as a base. We modified maybe 10 or 15 cards and came up with something else. And
so would you say that this Lannister Crossing was more like your creation rather than the one that's been winning around?
It's
I'm sure
definitely
people are gonna
inspired
see,
by.
Okay, people I know they're going to see it and they're going to say, oh, that's just another net deck. But what you're saying is you changed a significant amount of cards.
Probably maybe 10 cards. Like, it's not a ton, right? Like, it still uses Never Bet Against My Family. It still uses Hear Me Roar. It still tries to bounce in characters for surprises and push through challenges and use Gregor to, like, trigger put to the sword. Like, all those parts are still in there.
Sure. So you were undefeated on the day.
Yep.
Was anything? Were you scared at any point during any of the games? Did anything go wrong? Was there any problems that you foresaw with the deck? Or was it a pretty easy day?
I had to play against her twice, and the second time she got Gregor out, and that's always scary, right? Because you never know what kind of blowout you're going to experience against that. But luckily, the 2 times he triggered, it didn't hit anything big, so that was not a big of a deal. Though she did Tickler my Jamie in the first time we played, which was not fun.
I'm sure everybody enjoyed
and that'll be on camera and will involve me yelling a lot. No, I mean, every game definitely has moments, right? Like, there were times against, like, all the Greyjoy players I played where I very easily could have, like, lost my board and just been blown out. And I was lucky enough to draw the cards that kept that from happening.
Okay. So now the next question I have to ask Kelli. People yelled at me when I just say, and I let people that lost the game, that when they say it was just bad luck or variance. So I have to ask you the difficult question. What went wrong? Why did you lose in the finals?
So when I played against him, that was the only time I didn't get like Gregor on like turn 1, I think. So
Yeah.
Gregor on turn 1 wins the game.
Because you were able to set up the combo with Bear and the Maiden Fair, you mean?
That definitely happened. In the 2 games that, when I went against Rick and when I went against Rob, I got like Gregor and a dupe and all 3 bears like really early. So, and I didn't pull them all off every time, but like.
Now, did you build anything? So she was playing Lannister Tyrell. Now, did you build anything into the deck to specifically look for that combo, or were you just hoping for the
It's
best?
just sort of in there. There's like 3 Gregors and 3 copies of Bear and the Maiden Fair. And obviously Bear and the Maiden Fair can be used on yourself if you want to, or you can just use it to put guys to bury cards. You don't have to use it with Gregor. You can also use it with the Tickler. But I use it with Gregor most of the time.
So I wasn't watching the final game as I was playing a casual game. Was there any single moment that swung the match in either of your directions, or?
So there was.
Well, he intrigue claimed my Tywin on turn 1.
Okay.
That was
Because I played Gregor instead of him, and I was like, oh wait, because I had a Bear and the Maiden Fair.
Do you generally prefer to play Gregor versus dropping him in on a surprise with one of the events?
So she doesn't play the
Yeah,
events.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She actually
yeah.
aims to have him set up like with dupes
Okay.
and stuff.
And I was gonna play
consistently.
Tywin. Obviously, Tywin turn 1's really good, but I saw the Gregor and the Bear and the Maiden Fair. So
Now, was this a matchup that you guys played at home in practice a lot, or
No.
do you play at home against each other? A lot?
Yeah, sometimes, not as often as we used to, but
Do you practice on Octagon at all, or?
I haven't for a while.
Really?
Like mostly it's
I mean, I made the decks on Friday.
yeah, both of these decks were pretty new.
I tried it once against his Targ Fealty and won that one, but we didn't actually play these decks.
So would you change anything with your build after today's tournament?
And I take out one of the Lanni sports because I had them a bunch of times and I could never really afford it because I have expensive characters. So
Sure.
I'll probably take out a Lanni sport.
And what about you? So clearly you were undefeated, the deck ran well. Going into regionals, do you think there's anything that you would change to make it even more efficient against a much deeper field?
Yeah, there's some things I experienced with it. Like I had 2 Lanni sports and I had the same problem where it stuck in my hand a lot of time. I considered changing that. We were experimenting with variations of this deck that actually ran attachments. Like there's no attachments in the deck, right? So which might be different than some of the other versions.
And you made that decision to make setups better? Or
That too, and because the deck runs so many events, right? You
Okay.
run Treachery, Hear Me Roar, Never Bet Against My Family, Put to the Sword, and
Sure.
Curse Elise.
Yeah.
And all of those in multiples, 2 or 3. And that also hurts your setup. So if you go and delve into more attachments, like Widow's Will is great, but Seal of the Hand's very expensive. Milk is not good for setup. So that was part of it. And just, if I have no attachments, everyone's running Confinement, and it's a dead plot in their pile.
Yeah, that's true.
And while the deck doesn't often get to 7 plots, watching them flip a dead plot or have to flip Confiscation against themselves and discard something they want is always a great feeling. But Lords of the Crossing would really benefit from Seal the Hand on Tywin. The problem is finding enough room to put enough attachments that you don't just lose to Confiscation immediately.
And it's expensive.
And it's expensive.
All right, well, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Condolences. Good luck on the ride home. Thanks again. If you guys are in Southeast DC, come on down to Labyrinth Game Shop and check it out. It's super awesome. All kinds of games and puzzles. And we'll see you next time on AMC.
Your guy got me think about getting a roommate.
Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, aren't you so handsome?
She's a she.
Oh, she's so handsome.
Sorry.